Hello everyone, and we are back for another episode of Ike Upscribe, the Apostle Obsonate. I'm System Chalk. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, if you'd like to continue to be updated, do feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and there's the notification button beside it if you'd like to get emails when these things come up. I usually will upload them and release them at 6 in the evening Eastern Time on Wednesdays and Fridays. Now, we had a little bit of a setback in the previous episode as far as funds. We were trying to get rid of our staleness, and I did not realize this before, so we don't need to worry about our staleness anymore because upgrading our skill will remove it. That is very good to know for future. So our paintings should become a little bit more intense over time. That'll help us out. And our game plan for the next little while, first of all, is to get some more funds. Hopefully our reputation will help us out in that regard. We are, of course, going up against the fact that the Weary Detective is eating up all of our reputation, but we should be able to generate some over time. Excuse me. The other detail that I think will help us out is where I'm getting to a point where I'm going to be getting some duplicate books from Moreland, so I'm going to be able to start selling things like books of poetry at the auction house. So while we may not wind up being able to raid the Hebe Stanton, or at least getting sort of within striking distance, and I want to make sure that I'm able to start upgrading my followers and bring more people into the cult, because these are the people we're going to be able to rely on until we can start summoning things. Now, first things first, we do need to get the study verb taken care of, so we'll read the Skeleton Songs. Poems of greedy delight, composed by the possibly pseudonymous Arbella Dusk, the rumored heiress turned madam turned poetess. In Arbella's introduction, she explains that the book was to be illustrated, but that the Suppression Bureau, we will read that in a second. Let's take another Forgotten Chronicle. Last night, Gearby was talkative. He spoke in his siege engine voice of the histories he'd overheard in the waking world. I listened until his stories tailed off again into weeping. That might take us to the end of the continents. We'll see. But we're reading about Arbella's work, The Skeleton Song. In Arbella's introduction, she explains that the book was to be illustrated, but that the Suppression Bureau would not permit it. She hints that the illustration still exists somewhere. The book is dedicated to Sir Parsifal of the Red Cup. Intrigue. Our enemy intends to use trickery against us this time. So, Grail or Heart for intrigues. Let's send Saliba off to deal with that. And not only do we have money and vitality, but we've got a spare vitality due to the course of the heart. Whenever the principle of heart is implicated, I may gain vitality. So let's go to Clever and Clever so we don't lose our job. Following that, we'll paint again. Now, you may be wondering why I'm letting this delightful blood run away. That's because I'm going to need to deal with my Savorous blood before too long. Hello. I should have paid attention to that. The extra vitality is welcome. Oh, nope. We'll still be able to make this work, but it's going to be a very tight needle to thread. Acquaintance, come with me. So there's a hanger-on. Not the most exciting thing that we can work with. Now remember how I was saying we were going to deal with the Weary Detective gobbling up all of our reputation? We're going to still keep talking about the occult scrap to bring in more bodies. Talking publicly about the invisible arts will attract attention. Perhaps that's what I want. So in 6 seconds, the Savor's blood is going to turn to the poison blood. We'll use the dream slot to get rid of that. Now the hope is that this will take less than 48 seconds to cure. If it takes longer, then that's going to get absorbed in the Season of Despair, and I'm going to be in trouble. My own heart pumps more strongly today. Okay, so Forlorn Blood. Resting will restore me if I have the necessary resources. I consume the little vial of blood, lie back, and close my eyes. Tomorrow I will be stronger. This place merits closer investigation. The unnumbered stones, megaliths placed in obsessive and errant rows by priest castes long dead. Time has long erased the original bloodstains, but on moonless nights the locals supplement what remains. Hidden chambers might guard hidden treasures. So, that is everything on the continent. Now we're going to be focusing on beyond the continent. Which we would use for Forgotten Chronicles, but I feel like there's something else I wanted to do with Explore before I touched any of that. So I'm just going to take a second here and review So this will be exploration. Moorlands if I wanted to spend money, but I don't. I can't think of a reason why I would want to be using my explore verb right now. Okay, I was mistaken. So we will use find sites to explore on the continent. Little wars, great intrigues, cryptic priesthoods, and mystic crimes. All past now, but what traces did they leave? I'm much recovered. More than that, I am sumptuous. The sclera of my eyes are, the veins in my wrists are aswim with gorgeous serums. When the vitulation comes, I will be the centerpiece for our delight to prove their appetite, to enact the grail. So here we will do it the other way around. So fascination. Light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than it ever was. The higher I rise, the more I see. Dread, I've seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes, an existential horror. The doors of vision swing wide. A little darkness will mellow my light. Even dread has its uses. So in 30 seconds, I'm going to want to use this vitality to cure the affliction. The 26 delightful fruits, the 7 chastisements, the 9 gardens, the 4 regrets. And now we have red secret. Again, kind of funny given that we already have the anthic elaboration, but more grail is good grail. Some words are spelt correctly only when the proper ink is used. Now, if we want to continue reading, we're going to have to translate the books, which is exactly what we'll do right now. So we'll take the Rose of Hypatia and what is contained by silver and throw... Oop, no, I don't want to learn Greek. I want to throw my scholarship at it. Oh yes, I should be reading Gartsides because we will be getting some scrolls soon. Lock the study door, the work begins. So the work we're translating marked with the triple sign of the arcane contemplative order known as the Sisterhood of the Knot, and it is in Greek. Clerks file out in silence. I'm free for now. So let's throw everything reputation-wise that we can, excuse me, into this work. Wait a minute. Maybe I was mistaken in terms of getting an extra slot there. Excuse me. Either way, let's do a painting about my vitality called I Am Healthy, No Really. Sorry, that's a real tickle in my throat. The illness has damaged my health. I'll need to rest before I'm fully recovered. Cure your affliction with funds or vitality. Sorry, I'm going Leonard Cohen on you all. I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. Again, we're short on cash. I don't want to spend it on paints. Why did I use another... I'm sorry, I was completely mistaken in terms of which I was looking for. That's fine. I mean, we'll get stuff from the unnumbered stones, but... It's just a little funny that I wasted the lore, seeing as high-level secret histories is still useful in some cases. Excuse me. Honestly, I'm only going through the motions. The quality of my work will no doubt suffer, but will people buy it? Worthless! I produce nothing of any use or significance at all. I should be ashamed of myself. Still, if I have a reputation, it might sell. I'm going to take my Greek and translate on what is contained by silver as well. Bestiary by Pomander. The air is curdled now. I am home again in this lumpen flesh. Better, perhaps. So let's take my affliction, combine it with vitality. Alright. Oh, looks like we made some cash. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. So let's see what we made off with. No staleness. That's good. Ooh. We are going to be going on a boat. Scratching of pens, the sourness of dust, the sighing of the younger Glover, and the greedy gurgling of the elder. Alright, so, given that we have 3 Mystique, I'm not quite ready to go on an expedition yet, but we are getting tantalizingly close. This also means that I should be upgrading follower. Sorry, I should be making sure that we have 2 of each kind, upgrading them to the highest level that we can, and then we'll go to the expedition proper. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. Actually, what I should be doing before any of these other things, I should probably be auctioning off some of the books that I don't need. Well, just Kroner and Goethe, actually. We've found Leo. All right, that's another welcome body. Come with me. So now I think we do want to reduce the amount of mistake. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll get another painting in. We've got 26 second. Yeah, I'll do a painting to fix it. Oh, and we are going to have some restlessness to paint in a few seconds, so that timing works well for me. But as far as talking is concerned, let's start filling in the gaps. So Salib is currently on his Grail duties. We'll be able to handle that. Of course, keeping in mind that slows things down. It doesn't stop them. So we're going to need an extra Winter follower, an extra Heart follower. So that will mean Auclair and Dorothy, or Leo for that matter. So let's move these 2 up the list. We'll get everybody into the cult, but it would be good to make sure that we have everything ready for our expedition. So, Dorothy. Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort with eclectic reading habit. She's fascinated by my hints about the shapes beneath the world's skin. We will take the Red Secret. I don't think we have anything else we want to get rid of, so we'll bring her in. Old and happy far-off things. Moth finds light in the dark, and so do I. So we'll lose 1 mystique to the weary detective. There's not a whole lot that we can do about that. After that, though, we're going to paint. I have prepared the text for study. All right. So now we're going to start actually reading these books. I could do Gartside Sanskrit Reader, but we might as well get the lore that we can. So, The Rose of Hypatia, the volume of collected teachings by the Sisterhood of the Knot, that arcane contemplative order that existed in all histories, but in some was very powerful indeed. This was recorded by Hypatia and dedicated to Saint Nympha. Saint Nympha is described as not born but cultivated, the sentience that became the saint. Hypatia indicates inhabited a sinner's corpse in order to enable that sinner's redemption. Lots of stuff just coming online here. So the sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. A half-glimpsed wistfulness has touched me. Dorothy will never forget the savor I've given them. Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort. I have turned her enthusiasm to our advantage. Speaking of, where are you, Dorothy? So we're going to upgrade Dorothy right away. Take the Anthic elaboration. My follower will kneel as a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. And the clerks file out in silence. I am free for now, so we get the initiation done on our way back from work. So we'll just wait for the restlessness to become available. Actually, I guess I didn't need to do that because I still had to feed the painting. You never know, this might be a living. So we'll take 3 mystique in this case. We'll add 1 passion. And my restlessness will be my inspiration. This should have an impact. Oh, I'm not dreaming at the moment. That's no good. In my dreams, I know the path to the stag door, though through the maze of the bounds. Gearby will let me pass, but the path is always a puzzle. I will need reason. So this is so that I can get some lore for the trip. Although, certainly, the risk to this, by the way, I've mentioned this before, but if I had a rival, these things would be getting gobbled up by them. Fortunately, I don't have a rival, and I will take steps to make sure that I don't have one. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions, it's over for now. And Daylight's terrors, our enemy is working to expose the secrets of our followers. If they can't find an unexposed follower, this will end quietly. So Violet is very careful, so hopefully that will cause the action to fail, but we need to be prepared nonetheless. And I will not buy the henchman. Can you buy a henchman? I will not use the henchman. Defend against exposure. I can try giving the public something else to think about. Use mystique to attempt distraction, though it isn't always successful and may generate notoriety. Use a favor from authority to shut it down immediately. So it's very unlikely we're going to have mystique in time. I suppose that's the risk of using the painting. We'll see if the painting gets done on time, but I'm pretty sure it's going to take us, too long. Our follower is the wrong kind of famous. Interesting. But what did that actually do? The mortal is in the shadow. The mortal in the shadows ponders their next move. Good work. This is work that I can be proud of. With enough publicity, it will sell. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. So, passion's down. There's the mystique that we needed. Actually, we seem to be short one. Oh, here we are. And we really didn't do that much better than going to Glover and Glover, so that's life. We're still in a position to be able to take our trip. Not all dead enter the mansis by the winter door. Not all the dead enter the mansis at all. So we have a wood whisperer and words that walk for our trouble. Words that walk. The syllables of the... Oop, what is this red secret doing in my... in my heart pile? The syllables of this formula are compelling. I find myself snapping my fingers to its rhythm. It desires not to cease. I will confess... my heart is probably some of my favorite lore to read. All right, we've upgraded Dorothy. In pain we are born, in hunger we are embraced, in delight we are devoured. These are the gates of the body, and this is her promise. Not all that is born decays. In remembrance of that promise, we give ourselves to the feast. Dorothy's enthusiasm has become obsession. She will not cease, and how she loves to dance. So, in this case, we will add Eau Claire. Once we add Eau Claire, we have what we need to get the our expedition done, and we'll be able, we'll just move on with it. Excuse me. But I don't want to do it until... I actually think in the case of the Hebe Stanton, I'm not going to need winter, but it's good to just have a full roster, and then we can deal with the rest of it as time goes by. So, again, we take the Order of the Bloody Cup, bring Eau Claire in. Eau Claire is a scholarly aspect and a morbid streak. We will take the Red Secret. This one is ready. Oop. Study-wise, let's read on what is contained by silver. A dire bestiary of the horrors to be found in mirrors. This is a recent edition of a 3rd century text by Pomander. A dire bestiary of the horrors to be found in mirrors. This is a recent edition by a 3rd century text by Pomander. And I risk fascination if I do this. Anger is implicit in every shape. Of the place my dreams took me last night, this has been written. The ascent is glass, the walls are knives, each step is blood. I did not climb far, the pain was too great. When I woke, that pain remained with me, a pain that I could employ to occult purposes if I hurry. And I think it still makes sense for me to go back into the mansis. There's really nothing else I need to do with my dream right now, so we'll keep going through the stag door. Despair prowls elsewhere, no dread empowers this despair, it's over for now. Another scene of suspicion coming up. Our spy has returned to us, that's going to be our lantern follower, so waiting on that. Alright, they will not forget the savor I've given them. Eau Claire is quiet, meticulous, and remorseless. So we will continue to move them up in the world. So here we will use the Anthic elaboration. My follower will kneel as a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. And we're going to send Slee straight back in. Again, we need the intelligence on what the Long is doing. If I'm lucky, this Mystique will decay, and one of these newer ones will get pulled in. I'm going to give this one more tick before we go on our expedition. Curses. That... well... alright. If it's going to be delayed, it's going to be delayed. We might as well use the Mystique while I can. The Virgins may... sorry. I completely forgot that the Rite of the Watchman Sorrow comes out of this. The Virgins, Maidens of the Mirror favor orchids. The Behindlings but favor the rhododendron. Cut flowers of either nature should not be placed before polished bronze. An appendix contains a rite which may be used to summon some of these entities, although the details of its use are not made clear. So we've got a Mansus Glimpse, which isn't too interesting to us, but this is fairly important. This is the first ritual that we've gotten. So the Rite of the Watchman's Sorrow. This rite recalls the loss of the watchman who walks the house which has no walls. Light goes before him and shadow behind. He must not see you. The instrument of power is used to summon him to take his sacrifice. Precious knowledge from the root of your thoughts. The assistant must speak the words that anchor your sanity, so choose someone you trust. So all of the rituals involve a sacrifice. There might be something that I can do to try and push this to my favor, but we'll see. I've got a few ideas about what we might do here. I am, however, a bit behind, so let's just get another reading in. Gartside's Sanskrit Reader, a lucid book which outlines a careful path through the thickets of a vast and complex language. The name has been translated as the Refined Language. And with that note, I think the next episode will be one where we finally go onto the Hebe Stanton. So thank you very much for watching this somewhat extended episode, and we will see you next time.